attempting to bounce back from a disappointing title fight defeat, as well as the first losses of their pro careers. The big difference is that while Alameda lost to Luis Neri for a vacant 122-pound title, Leo was dethroned in a fantastic fight by Stephen Fulton. This is your quintessential crossroads clash scheduled for 10 rounds. Mexico's Alameda officially came in at almost a pound and a half over the 122-pound limit. And he paid financial penalties to Leo and the Texas Commission for failing to make weight. He says that Leo is going to be surprised by his aggressiveness. Leo is facing the fifth lefty in his last 9 fights. He's 4-0 with 3 KOs against those southpaws. And boy, his fight with Fulton, it produced nearly 2,000 total punches thrown, 626 total connects, and 558 landed power shots. But again, Leo beaten by Fulton at his own game, the inside game.
We'll take a look at the tail of the tape, and the numbers are very similar, although Alameda had a problem making the weight and never did get down to the 122-pound limit. He did struggle a bit to try and lose some more weight. Will that take anything out of him for this fight? We'll find out.
And the rules, there is no 3 knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight. A fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round. If a fighter cannot continue due to an injury from an accidental foul or a headbutt before the end of round 4, it's a no decision. After the end of round 4, they go to the scorecards for a technical decision. It is time to get the official introductions from our Hall of Fame ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you, and we welcome you to the Toyota Center here in Houston, Texas, as Premier Boxing Champions presents a big night of action coming your way with our opening bout brought to you in association with Mayweather Promotions. Now we introduce our 3 judges scoring this bout from ringside, all from the state of Texas: Jesse Reyes, Randy Russell, and Eva Zaragoza. Introducing our 3rd man to the ring, the referee in charge of this bout, Gregorio Alvarez. All right, fans, here we go. Super bantamweight attraction. We're scheduled 10 rounds of boxing. Introducing to you first on my left, he is fighting out of the red corner, wearing blue trunks with yellow trim. Hailing from Nogales, Sonora, Mexico, he weighed in at 123 1/2 pounds. His fine record stands at 25 wins, 1 defeat, with 13 wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome the southpaw contender, ranked number 9 by the WBC, introducing Aaron Alameda. And his opponent across the ring on my right, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing blue trunks with silver trim, fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada by way of Albuquerque, New Mexico. He weighed in at the super bantamweight limit of 122 pounds. His record stands at 20 wins, 1 loss, with 9 wins coming by way of knockout. He is ranked the WBO number 6 contender, introducing the former WBO junior featherweight champion of the world, introducing Angelo El Chinito Leo. Once again, a referee in charge now to give instructions, Gregorio Alvarez.
Over here. All right, gentlemen, you've both been given the pre-fight rules. I want to see a clean professional fight. I need to see that you're protecting yourselves at all time. Most importantly, obey my commands. You got that? Todo bien? Toquen guantes, touch gloves, return to your corner.
Referee is Gregorio Alvarez. He's an 18-year pro working his 194th professional fight, scheduled for 10 rounds in the super bantamweight division.
Box.
the bell and round one. Angelo Leo in the blue and white. Aaron Alameda in the blue with yellow trim. And while they're wearing boxing gloves, they could easily be wearing oven mitts because things are definitely cooking in this division, Al Bernstein.
Boy, are they ever. It's one of the best divisions in boxing, and I'm looking forward to this match. You talked about the body work of Angelo Leo. 48% of his landed punches are to the body. So when he gets in the inside, look for him to go there.
Again, Alameda, the fifth southpaw that Leo has faced in his last 9 fights, becoming familiar with lefties. Abner Mares.
Well, you know, it's something that just really caught my eye right now in this beginning of the fight is that Leo, well, my first question was going to be if Leo learned anything from the Fulton fight. And I'm noticing that right now you see him, he's studying the fighter now. He's waiting for Alameda to make mistakes. He's not just rolling in like he usually does himself.
Leo coming off a 147-day break, while Alameda's hiatus was nearly twice as long, 266 days. And again, both of them coming off their first professional losses in high-stakes affairs featuring the 122-pound trinkets. And here in the first half of the first round, very much a tactical feeling out process as Leo does a good job going twice to the body with the left hook and then going upstairs.
Yeah, we've seen him go downstairs already about 6 or 7 or 8 times and landed some good body shots.
Really picking his punches well, Leo. And one thing I do want to point out is that Alameda, in some way, he has a similar style to Fulton. He likes to counter punch, and that's what happened with Leo. Leo was countered by Fulton.
Alameda doing a great job here with that right hand, especially the uppercut, the right hooks to the body, and Leo now coming back. So Aaron Alameda beginning to put together some combinations and blocking the jab of Leo.
He showed us in his fight with Luis Neri that he is a solid fighter. He was an unknown commodity to many coming into that fight, but he demonstrated he knows how to fight.
Yeah, Alameda told us that depending on how the fight goes, he will adapt as any professional prize fighter should be able to do. He says if he needs to put pressure or if he needs to box, he says he's a boxer puncher, and we're seeing a bit of that here, but he's really crafty with those combinations. Alameda eating that 1-2 from Leo as we come to the end of the opening round. Nice lead right hand to the body by Leo before he went upstairs with the left.
We'll take a look at what these fighters need to do to win this match for Angelo Leo. He is a pressure fighter, and he needs to do that, even though he was a little more technical in round number 1. Double left hook, he already showed us that in this fight. He can throw that punch to the body and to the head. Sometimes he neglects defense. He needs to move his head during this fight.
It's the way you're doing.
For Alameda, if he gets caught on the ropes, Leo is going to bombard his body. He didn't do that in round 1. Now, he has a very good right hook, and we saw him double it to the body and the head already in this fight. He doesn't want to stay inside with Leo all the time, but he should go there, land punches, then box again. That's something else he did in round 1.
Round number 2 here in Houston. Our first of 3 fights coming your way tonight. This one taking place in the 122-pound division. Again, Leo, his first range shorter than a leprechaun, but hoping to still mine the pot of gold at the end of what is a lucrative 122-pound rainbow, and a nice double right hand splitting the guard of Alameda. But so much competition in this weight class, and we are seeing it on display here in the early going.
I think that's your first leprechaun reference in all these years, so congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, before these guys go at it, like it seems like they're about to, one thing I wanted to point out about Alameda is that Aaron did not get a lot of credit for the Nery fight. It was more talked about Nery not looking impressive and not looking good. But then again, it was Alameda's boxing that gave Nery problems.
Well, we talk about Leo wanting to go downstairs. Already, you can see he landed 147 body punches against Fulton, even though Fulton remarkably took them so well, and it did not win Leo the fight. But already, you can see he's going downstairs. But, as Abner pointed out, Alameda's doing some good work in this fight as well.
Terrific give and take here in the early goings of this 122-pound encounter.
This is just what we thought this fight would be.
Yes. And see, with Alameda's a little pull back and comes back with 2, 3, 4 punches. That's giving Leo problems. Leo has to commit in the inside and push him back.
But if he commits to the inside, he's eating shots upstairs, especially the right hook from Alameda.
That's Leo's style. He takes one to get two. Now he's got to come back with his own. There it is.
Both men will use the uppercut a lot, and we've seen it from both men already.
Now I think Alameda's more comfortable when you give him space.
Right uppercut on the inside by Alameda, and then it's Leo going to work to the body, but a terrific pace, and again, some great exchanges, and boy, did Alameda score with that right uppercut, and another right uppercut on the inside by Aaron Alameda with 30 seconds left in the second stanza. As Leo snuck a right hand through the guard. A lot of contact here, guys.
Yes, and if you guys remember on the Leo fight against Fulton, he ate a lot of uppercuts, so, you know, he's got to take note.
Well, leaning forward like this, he'll be susceptible to them. A nice left hook to the body by Leo, ripping the shot downstairs. Some terrific stuff here in the second round of this 122-pound tilt.
A very good second part of the round for Alameda, and this right hook. It was a counter right hook over the left hook to the body by Leo. So that was an example of good work he's done.
So both of these fighters coming off their first pro loss, but for Leo, he also lost his 122-pound title against cool boy Steph Fulton.
And on cue, Fulton landed that uppercut and another one, as Abner pointed out. It's a punch that Leo is getting hit with again tonight. Is this going to be a repeat of someone doing what Stephen Fulton did on the inside to Leo? It was a brilliant performance by Fulton.
And it sets up a mouth-watering unification fight with Brandon Figueroa, who dethroned Luis Nery in Nery's first title defense after beating Alameda. And that's coming up September 11.
Can't wait for that.
Man.
Sorry.
The bell goes to begin round number 3. Angelo Leo, Aaron Alameda, both looking to bounce back from taking their first L's, as Leo triple pumps the jab to start the proceedings here in the third round.
You know, Alameda came into this fight with a little bit of momentum. In the last 3 rounds against Luis Nery, he outpunched Nery, according to show stats, 75-69 overall and 59-55 in power punches. He had a good latter part of that fight. He's doing it tonight, too.
And he scored another effective counter right hook upstairs as Leo was going to the body.
Yeah, great thing you point out. I mean, there was a lot said about Nery not showing up that night, not being the same Nery, but Alameda gave him a lot of problems. He boxed beautifully, and he's doing so right now. He's being really crafty, really smart with his punches, with the jab, that left hand.
Minute gone here in the third. Leo hemmed in the corner, maybe trying to set a trap, but it's Alameda going to work before Leo pops a couple of right hands, splitting the guard of Alameda.
It is intriguing that Alameda is pushing Leo back. That's not usually the way it works. And now Leo moving forward. And there on the ropes is not where Alameda wants to be.
Yeah, Alameda scored with some thudding right hands and that right uppercut. They've been some eye-catching shots just like that one.
Wow.
Man, Leo's face beginning to swell.
I like how Alameda stays in his range when he's in the outside. When he's in the inside, okay, he commits, he lets the uppercut, he turns him with the left hook. But when he's in the outside, it's the jab, 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 and then when he feels that he can land the left, he lets it go.
Last minute of the third round, we thought it would be ultra competitive, and the numbers so far telling that story, Al.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, what this fight is a question of whether Alameda can keep Leo going backwards. If he can do that, he's in business in this fight.
Leo goes to the body, again with the right hand, leans forward. Now Alameda going to the body, and that straight right cross, the lead right cross, strafing the jaw of Leo. Leo bobbing and weaving, but not firing back. There's a nice counter right hand and another right by Leo. These two hell-bent on chucking plenty of leather. Let's go to Jim Gray.
Is that added pressure, or how are you dealing with it?
I mean, the pressure on me, you know, to go out and just get the best I can give and have a solid performance.
And with your opponent and what it is that you're trying to accomplish, is there anything that you approach this fight differently with because of his performance and the 22 knockouts that he has obtained?
I mean, he's a fighter. I mean, we both got to go in there with the same mentality to get the win, right? But, I mean, he's living off of knockouts, so that's what we're trying to. That's what we're gonna stop. That's our game plan. You know, we're not worried about that. We just know how to fight fighters who's strong.
Best of luck, and we'll talk to you afterwards.
Thank you.
All right, back out to you, Mo.
Thank you very much, Jim. Looking forward to the main event tonight. Another homecoming for Jamal Charlo, who looks to put a capstone on what has to be the most memorable week of his career.
Yeah, on a personal and professional basis. You know, Leo is fighting this fight kind of a more at distance than for longer periods. And yet, when he's on the inside, he's had some issues.
Leo's still trying to figure out how to fight Alameda. He's still yet, you know, finding his range and comfortness, basically. He's trying to feel comfortable. But a way of doing that is exactly that, pressuring. That's his style.
And there's the body work. You know, it's always a question of whether Leo gets credit for the body work he does, and in most fights has.
Opening minute of the fourth round, scheduled for 10 in the 122-pound weight class. Alameda moving forward as Leo again almost puts himself in the corner before pivoting and getting busy with his punches. Now just pawing the jab, a lazy jab, maybe trying to set a trap for Alameda.
Arnold Bravo, Alameda's trainer, who, by the way, gave Floyd Mayweather his first loss as an amateur. That's significant. He felt that Alameda beat himself in the Neri fight by not punching enough. Well, in this fight, he has outpunched Leo in terms of punches thrown by about 30 punches. So he's been active.
And he is active there, putting the cap on that three-punch combination with a right hook to the body as Leo comes back with the right hand, and he scores with a short left uppercut on the inside as we pass the midpoint of the fourth frame. And total punches, well, we're at 400 and, well, over 430.
Yeah, I referenced that he's throwing more, Alameda, and he is by a little bit. And both men active.
Abner, what do you make of Leo finding himself repeatedly in the corner?
Well, Leo does not have to be there. He's got to turn. And I mean, he still has to be in the inside, but not on the ropes. Again, I think that's where he feels more comfortable. He's got to double that right hand.
And I think he heard me because he's marched forward since and scored with some, you know, good stuff here on Alameda.
He found a home for kind of a roundhouse right, not throwing it straight around the guard of Alameda.
And if you could double that right hand, I mean, it will work for him.
Lead left hook to the body by Leo, and again, Alameda has him in the corner. But Leo doing a good job of defending and then coming forward, shoe shining the body.
The second part of this round has been pretty good for Leo. Alameda started very well in the round, but the second part, Leo's done better. Whether it's enough for him to win the round, it remains to be seen.
Alameda continuing to stalk Leo. Leo utilizing footwork, lateral movement, stabs out the jab from southpaw himself.
Okay, Aaron. ¿Qué tiene este vato?
Well, what does this guy have? He doesn't have anything. Do you see? He has nothing. Breathe, breathe. Breathe.
Give me the bucket. Respira, Aaron. Hey, Aaron, cuando lo tienes en las cuerdas,
when you have him on the ropes, he doesn't do nothing. He's just waiting.
Ahí nomás está.
He's just there. I need you to throw. Be careful because he's throwing hooks to the body. Be more aggressive.
Both men are doing exceptional work on the inside. Here, Leo with an uppercut there, and then the right hook uppercut, and three-punch combination by Alameda. And his combination punching has been very effective in the right hook. And both men, you see, they're both doing good work on the inside. It's just a question of who you think is doing better work overall.
Houston's own Raul Marquez handling the translations tonight, filling in for Felix de Jesus as we look on, and it's great to have fans back in the stands. A good crowd here in attendance tonight for Jamal Charlo's homecoming as we begin round number 5, scheduled for 10 in the 122-pound weight class. Alameda able to land the jab on Leo.
And we talked about the counter punching from Alameda. Alameda does it differently. Two ways. One, he pulls back and comes back with his own. And two, when he's in the inside, he lets Leo punch him. He waits for the right moment, and then he comes back with his own.
Leo fights out of the Mayweather Promotions stable, became the first champion from his hometown of Albuquerque since legendary 3-division champ Johnny Tapia, as he ate that right hook upstairs from Alameda before coming back to the body.
Yeah, Albuquerque's produced some great champions. Holly Holm, the legendary Bob Foster, Danny Romero, as you point out, Johnny Tapia. It's just the cradle of champions. Oh, nice.
And the home of one of the best MMA gyms on earth in Jackson, Wink.
Absolutely. And isn't he helping Holly Holm in her career?
Yeah, of course, and producing a lot of our Bellator MMA stars. And of course, Bellator MMA returns to Showtime Friday. But right now, Leo and Alameda putting on a show here. And now Alameda against the ropes for the first time, and Leo trying to keep him there.
Yeah, Leo landed an overhand right beautifully on Alameda earlier.
Step back.
And I'm seeing a little bit more of investment on the body from Leo, which is a good thing. You want to, since Alameda has a really good guard when it comes to protecting himself.
Total power punches, you see, the edge for Leo, which you would kind of expect. That's everything other than the jab. Alameda is concentrating a little bit more on the jab. He's throwing a lot more than Leo.
Final minute of the first half of this 122-pound bout, and Leo now utilizing footwork, bouncing left to right and utilizing that right hand. Now leaning in, cuffs him with the right. There's a nice left-right uppercut combination by Alameda.
This fight's reminding me a little bit of when Leo won the title from Tremaine Williams. He struggled in the early rounds, then started to find his way. He's done that in the last 2 rounds, I think, in this fight. Even though Alameda is still doing good work.
Last half minute of the 5th. Double left hook, partially blocked by the guard of Alameda. Alameda with the jab again has Leo in the corner, but unable to capitalize as Leo unloads on Alameda.
Okay? That's what you need to do. You gotta work him. He's forward, guys. Move forward. I told you that those body shots were gonna take a toll on you. I told you. Okay? He's tired already. Okay? Just keep doing what you're doing. You can pop shot him, you can hit around, you can do whatever you want with him now. He's like tired. Okay? But keep digging to the body.
Respira, Aaron. ¿Quieres ganar? ¿Quieres ganar?
You want to win?
Sueltes más, ¿entiendes?
You got to let more punches go.
Usa el jab,
Use your jab.
En la esquina, yo digo que tires.
When you got him in the corners, you got to throw. Use your jab more. Be careful with the hook. He's trying to catch you with the hook. Breathe. More to the body.
Got it.
We begin the second half of this 10-round, 122-pound bout between Angelo Leo in the blue and white trunks and Aaron Alameda in the blue with yellow trim, both coming off their first professional setbacks, both losses in title fights. Leo dropping his title to Stephen Fulton, while Alameda lost to Luis Neri in a vacant title fight. Neri, of course, went on to lose his title to Brandon Figueroa.
And for the second time, we've seen Leo, now he's back, but he switched to lefty for a good 35 seconds of this round. I've never seen him do that before.
Yeah. And to touch back on what you said in the last round now, I think Leo finds his moments, his spots, but he's got to be more consistent. It's just a period of moments where he does it well, and then he stops. And then Alameda gets the best of him.
Let's bring in our unofficial scorer, Steve Farhood scores. He is scoring tonight fights remotely, and he has Alameda ahead by 1 point at the midpoint of this 10-round tussle.
Either, Leo, you're consistent with your pressure fighting or with the counterpunching as you're doing right now.
Right uppercut again lands for Alameda, as Leo was good at shoe shining the body before landing a left hook upstairs. Past the midway point of the sixth.
Leo moved to Las Vegas a few years ago in 2017 and got in the Mayweather gym and was signed by Mayweather Promotions because they liked the work he did in the gym. So he made an opportunity for himself.
Yeah, it was his father's boxing magazines that sparked his interest in boxing. He rejected his dad's attempts to steer him into soccer and karate.
Yeah.
As they continue to exchange in the center of the ring. A minute left here in the sixth round.
See, I think this has again been a decent round for Leo because he's been precise with his punches. There's a solid left hook, working both the body and the head, and I just think doing a pretty good job in this round.
Yeah, he told us he feels a lot faster, a lot stronger. He had more endurance in this camp.
He committed to one style in this round, and I think it was more of a boxing. Letting go flurries.
And Alameda's, I'm sorry, Abner, Alameda's still trying to land that uppercut, and it's still a dangerous punch for him.
And now Alameda goes downstairs with a right hook and a left as he has Leo in the corner. Leo eats that right hook as it curls behind the guard. And another stiff jab through the guard of Leo.
This is a good boxing match.
I will disagree and say it is a great boxing match as we head to the seventh here in Houston, Texas.
You are correct, sir.
The angles are working, okay? You're good. You're good. Don't forget that jab right away. Angelo, it's right there. Always use your jab. Keep feigning it. You know, if you see that, he tries to counter, feign it.
Angelo Leo has landed 55 body punches in this match, and we're going to see an example of that here. And then he comes upstairs, double left hook, and in another sequence, you see him committing down there. Not everything landing, but look how he's doubling with the hook. That was in the keys to victory, and I think that's important for him to do.
Leo was cut against Stephen Fulton Jr. over the left eye due to a head clash in the opening round of their title fight. And you see that mouse, it is beginning to morph into a subway rat as this fight progresses here under the eye of Angelo Leo as we begin round number 7.
Alameda trained 8 weeks for this fight out in California at Buddy McGirt's gym with his trainer Alan Bravo, and they feel like he got really good work and is prepared for this fight. And of course, it's been a terrific fight thus far.
Stiff jab popping Leo's head back, and beautiful angle here by Leo, going off to the side, delivering a combination to the body. That one bounced off the shoulder. Alameda able to duck underneath before that right uppercut grazed off Alameda. Alameda needs to circle away from the ropes, Abner.
Yeah, he has to do just what
On
Leo
cue.
did. Yeah, which is shift. You got to shift to the sides. Leo does it at moments, and he does it well.
Leo off balance as he threw that left right, and the Alameda right uppercut is there.
Yeah, he's landing it with impunity in this fight.
And yet a three-punch combination by Leo. The third may have just got through the guard as he goes downstairs. Another counter right hand by Alameda. So again, high-level stuff here at 122 pounds.
You know, they didn't like that Alameda didn't punch enough. He's been mostly, he's been 50-50, a little bit above with Leo, so he has not been as passive as he was in some rounds with Neri.
And the one positive from the Neri fight, he did go past 9 rounds for the first time. And here we are, with a minute and change left in the 7th.
Yeah, and as we pointed out earlier, he was good in those last few rounds of a 12-rounder, and this one, of course, is scheduled for 10.
Lead left hook blocked by Alameda. Nice sneaky right hook to the body by Alameda, Abner.
Yeah, Leo, good thing he turned. I was about to say that you got to turn, you got to get out of the ropes. But it was Leo himself putting himself on the ropes. It wasn't so much Alameda. Again, Leo is still working on the boxing abilities. He's learning in this fight, and again, at moments he does it really well.
Those shots at the belt.
This is such an intriguing fight on every level, and you can see it. It's so close.
Half a minute remaining in the 7th. It is close both physically, statistically, and in every sense of the word here as expected between Angelo Leo, a former 122-pound belt holder, and Aaron Alameda, who suffered his only loss in his first title shot. Nice combination put together by Leo in the final seconds of the 7th. And again, the counter right hand by Alameda. And, at the bell, that right cross. We have sung the praises of the 122-pound division, and it's well-deserved. Some fantastic champions in this weight class. Murajan Akhmadaliev, who dethroned a very tough Danny Roman. How about Brandon Figueroa? He dethroned Luis Neri, and he will now meet Stephen Fulton Jr., who, of course, supplanted Angelo Leo. And Figueroa and Fulton Jr. meet September 11th in a mouth-watering title unification clash here on Showtime. And Al, we talk about the depth of the division. The list says it all.
One of the deepest divisions in boxing. People like Rais Salim and Carlos Castro, undefeated contenders. And, of course, Leo and Neri trying to work their way back. And then there's the elephant in the room, Daniel Roman, a former champion who barely lost his title and who is on the hunt to win the title again. This is a very deep division.
And we are deep into this 10-round affair being contested at super bantamweight. Angelo Leo and Aaron Alameda. Leo again in the corner, comes out with a 1-2 before moving to the center of the ring. Talk about adjustments you want both Leo and Alameda to make quickly, Abner.
Well, again, Leo putting himself on the ropes, not so much Alameda. I think he's got to use the whole ring, commit. I think he's trying to do 2 styles at the same time. Okay, that's okay, but commit with them, Box, get in there, land your punches, and get out. And if you're going to invest and you're going to stay in the inside, do so. Now, Alameda, I think Alameda just gives Leo moments where Leo lands his punches effectively, and that's because Alameda stays there. So I think he's got to work on that. He's got to be more. I think he's got to land more. He's got to throw more. Speaking of Alameda. See, just right there, he gave Leo the chance to land those punches.
Turn your head, man.
Alameda is a right-hander naturally, even though he fights as a lefty. He was taught to fight as a lefty, and that's part of the reason why that right hook is so good.
We are coming up On the midway point of the 8th round, Leo has been on the ropes a little too much, I'm sure, for his corner's liking, and then yet comes out throwing and landing some shots effectively. And according to our unofficial scorer, Steve Farhood, who was scoring this fight remotely, he has Alameda still up by a point over Leo as we, well, head into the home stretch of this ultra-competitive fight.
And so much on the line, as you pointed out, for these two fighters. I mean, a lot at stake.
You know, we talk about the sport of MMA where a fighter and high-level fighters suffer multiple losses and are still in the Hall of Fame and still vying for championships. Here we have Leo and Alameda coming off their first pro losses and still putting it forth and showing that they are high-level operators at 122 pounds. And the notion that one loss in boxing should ruin your career, that should disappear.
I agree with you 100%, and this is a good demonstration of it. Two excellent fighters in a very deep division putting on a great show. Leo, according to show stats, has landed more in this round. They've thrown about the same.
And he landed a nice right uppercut, left-hand combination right there, Al.
Both really taking turns in this round. Really even round.
Yeah, very close.
Let's go to Jim Gray.
All right, thank you very much, Moro. Martin will translate. Juan, why are you so confident that you can win tonight here in Charlo's hometown and fighting on this holiday with all of his fans here?
¿Por qué estás tan confiado de que puedes ganar hoy en la ciudad de Charlo y también en este día tan especial que es Juneteenth y la celebración de esta ciudad y de Charlo?
Porque tuve una preparación de campeón. Estoy en mi momento de edad de maduro. Y soy fuerte y es un sueño que voy a cumplir.
Because I have prepared like a champion, because I have reached an age and maturity where I feel ready, and that's why I believe that I'm going to win tonight.
Should he fear your power with the 22 knockouts?
¿Debería él temer a tu poder con tus 22 knockouts?
Claro, a eso venimos a noquear.
Of course he should. You know, he should fear the knockout, no doubt about it.
All right, best of luck. Martin, thank you. Juan, we'll talk to you after the fight.
Gracias.
All right, Moro, back out to you.
Thank you very much, Jim. The over under on how many times Montiel has watched Buster Douglas versus Mike Tyson as we begin round 9 in between Angelo Leo and Aaron Alameda, and they have been going back and forth, the ebb and flow, and they've thrown for over 1,000 punches.
Wow. And, you know, Leo's not surprised to be going long into a fight. In his last 7 fights, they have gone in 71 of the 72 scheduled rounds. So he's used to going a long way in fights. And Alameda, who went 12 for the first time, as we said in the last fight, here he is in the 10th round. And there's an example of what Mauro was talking about in terms of the numbers thrown. An edge to Leo, but, of course, it's all in how those numbers are divided per round. You score boxing by the round.
Clean, effective punching, paramount in the scoring as Leo putting together another combination, utilizing the real estate, the footwork, and there gets caught again with that counter right hand from the southpaw Alameda.
Before he got caught, he was doing everything right in this round, which was choosing his punches right, flurries, and getting out of the range of Alameda.
And according to our unofficial scorer, Steve Farhood, this fight very much hanging in the balance with now a minute and a half left here in the 9th.
You know, Arnold Bravo wanted to make sure Alameda threw more punches than Leo, and by about 40-some punches, he has done so. So that's the mission accomplished in that regard.
And he scored an effective double jab from the southpaw stance before going back to orthodox. And this is the range again where a guy like Leo, although Alameda making good work here at this range before Leo comes back. It's a fantastic fight.
Aaron Alameda was an unknown quantity before that Neri fight, as we pointed out. Now he is really performing well.
Both fighters really taking turns. There it is, Leo, and it almost seems like, you know, it's your turn, Alameda. But there it is. There's when Leo commits to a volume of punching a strategic type of fighting. He's really good at it. He lands his combinations, he moves, there it is, the pivot. Just those uppercuts he can't get away from.
Terrific stuff through 9 rounds here at the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. 1 round left, and a man who is, well, the pride and joy of the Lone Star State, Errol Spence Jr. Good friends with Jamal Charlo. He's got a big fight with the ageless wonder Manny Pacquiao coming up later this summer.
Trying to catch you with that hook. I'm telling you, it's the only one that he's been trying to catch you with the whole night. Use that angle. Use your angle. Okay, keep using those angles. Keep using those angles. Those angles are working good. Okay. The last round.
Respira, respira.
Breathe, breathe.
Otra vez, respira.
One more time.
Otra vez.
Do it again.
Otra vez, respira, otra vez.
One more time. Do it again. One more.
Último round.
Last round.
Vamos rounds y sueltas todo, ¿entiendes?
We're gonna win. You gotta throw everything.
Suelta, ya sabes,
Potentially one of the, well, yeah, the most important round of this fight, Al Bernstein, the final 3 minutes.
And an important round period for both these fighters. And, you know, the intriguing thing to me is each man has done good work on their own. It's just a question of who's done the most.
Abner with so much at stake, again, both coming off the mental and physical anguish of their first defeat. They got to put it all out there. What do you want to see from both Leo and Alameda in the final 2 minutes of this fight?
This is a perfect demonstration of how the whole fight has been going on, which is, you know, both fighters finding their moments to let go of their hands and landing. Speaking of Leo and Alameda, which has made this fight so close. Now, Leo, I think the last round, he has to commit. He has to just go all out.
Yeah, pedal to the metal, right?
Exactly. Make this round, get this round. And now Alameda will just wait for Leo. You know, if he makes a mistake, make him pay.
Alameda has thrown, though, almost double the amount of punches of Leo in this round.
Neither fighter has been down in their respective pro careers as Alameda lights up Leo, who walks right through the strikes and moves forward before getting nailed with another long right hand from the southpaw Alameda.
And some bruising, I think, under the left eye of Leo from the right hooks of Alameda.
Yeah, his eyes are beginning to close like Venetian blinds here with 1:05 left in the final round, and Alameda continuing to target the face with the jab. But good combination put together by the former champion. Leo goes to the body before finishing up upstairs.
Coming into this round unofficially, Steve Farr had Leo up by 1 round in this match. Of course, that's unofficial, but I think Alameda's had a fairly good 10th round here. I don't know if he's winning it, but you can make a case for it.
I think Leo started off really well and Alameda closing the round.
Oh, beautiful combination by Leo. Hand speed on display in the final 30 seconds of the 10th.
What's your hit, man?
Exhibit A of why this division is so good.
Technical, aggressive, plenty of heart. Incredible conditioning, incredible pace. Terrific fight between Angelo Leo and Aaron Alameda.
Some commentary from Angelo Leo right at the end.
And Angelo Leo wearing the vestiges of battle.
There are a couple of things come out of this fight. One of them is that Aaron Alameda belongs in the upper echelon of the 122-pound division. There was a question when he was coming into fight Neri, did he belong here? He's proven he does, whatever the the verdict is here. And Angelo Leo, what he proved tonight is that mentally he's back. We go inside the ropes to see this fight in microcosm. Of course, Leo starting out with body work and to the head as well. You see him concentrating down there. That's always what he does. And Alameda doing good work on the inside, countering, as Abner said. You can counter from the inside as well as from the outside, and that uppercut became a huge weapon in this fight for Alameda. In fact, the right uppercut and the right hook were Alameda's calling card, but then he had the left uppercut as well. So each man took turns doing good work. And again, there's Alameda with that combination of the right hook and right uppercut. And
the placement, the diversity, the timing, Al, everything on display, right?
It really was. I think both men fought very well on the inside. And the numbers demonstrating how active these fighters were and how well they did. Now, the body shots, we expected Leo to be landing more of those. And 40% and 41% of power punches, which is everything but a jab, landed. That demonstrates what a good job they did.
All right, while we await the official decision, The Kings is a four-part series chronicling the careers of the four kings of boxing: Duran, Hagler, Hearns, and Leonard.
You have to be fighting for something.
Boxing for me was a way of making a statement.
Racing was a big thing in our life.
The four kings gave us the greatest period in the history of the sport.
No matter where you've come from, your race, your creed, you can become champion of the world.
Compelling docuseries. Appreciate the insight of our Hall of Famers, Al Bernstein and Steve Farhood. Speaking of Hall of Famers, Jimmy Lennon Jr. has the name of the winner.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of action, we go to the scorecards. Judge at ringside, Jesse Reyes, scores the bout 95-95, even a draw. Overruled by judges Randy Russell, who scores the bout 96-94, and Eva Zaragoza seeing the fight 98-92 in favor of the winner by majority decision, Angelo El Chinito Leo.
Close encounter of the 122-pound kind of mice and men for Angelo Leo. The two mice under his eyes, and yet he records the victory. Albeit a bit of a controversial one here in the Toyota Center in Houston. But again, Al, a competitive fight, and really, you could go both ways.
You could. I think the one scorecard that raises eyebrows, and we'll talk about it in a while, is Eva Zaragoza's 98-92. That one out of bounds. But Alameda, who was disappointed, of course, and threw his arms to the sky, still showed good sportsmanship.
Let's go to Jim Gray.
All right, Mauro, thank you very much. Congratulations. Were you nervous that your name wasn't going to get... Congratulations.
Yeah.
Were you nervous your name wasn't going to get called for that decision?
I knew it was a close fight. Aaron Alameda, he's a tough fighter. He got 25 wins for a reason, so I knew it was going to be a tough fight. But I wasn't surprised.
The fans don't appear to be happy. Why do you feel you won the fight?
I think I just landed the more blows. I was the busier fighter. He didn't throw as much as me, and I was a more active fighter.
What did you learn from the defeat against Fulton in your last fight that you were able to apply tonight?
What's that?
What did you learn in your last fight, a loss to Fulton, that you were able to apply tonight?
I was just able to move a little bit more, change it up a little bit, use different game. You know.
Thank you very much. Congratulations. We look forward to your next performance. Moro, back to you.
All right, Jim. Aaron Alameda walked past us with this incredulous smile on his face. You see him still wondering what just happened. You know what? Both fighters' stocks, I thought, went up, and both remain in the mix here at 122 pounds. Scorecards be damned. And hey, we are in the cauldron of controversy known as the Lone Star State of Texas as we compare the official judges' scores with our unofficial score, Steve Farhad's scores. He, of course, scoring tonight's fights remotely.
Yeah, in the official scorecards, obviously Reyes with a draw, Randy Russell very close for Leo. Iva Zaragoza's scorecard from somewhere from Mars at 98-92 for Leo. That's just not in the realm of reality. Now let's take a look at where Steve Farhad had the fight. He scored it, a 2-point win for Angelo Leo, as one of the judges had it, and that's the ballpark of this fight. And Steve Farhad says he could have seen this as a draw as well, that would not be out of the realm of possibility, and it wasn't.
And officially, Alameda failed to sweep any of the rounds. It goes down as a majority decision victory for a former 122-pound belt holder in Angelo Leo. A little worse for wear, but hey, tough night at the office. It reaps rewards.